the psychology behind a client is that they want to buy. They don't want to be sold.
Correct.
And what's happening is agents are going in trying to sell. They're trying to sell premium, trying to sell the coverage amount, and trying to sell life insurance. And that's completely all wrong. And so we show them the psychology behind it. And to for example, just in final expense alone, there's like 4 major questions that if you ask a client, and I teach this, if you ask these 4 questions, it makes you the only logical choice.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast, and I am excited today. Man, I'm pumped up. We've got in the house special guest all the way from Burlington, North Carolina. This guy was a college dropout to a millionaire. You're going to hear his story. You're going to learn about his life. You're going to learn about how he did it. Welcome to the LIA studio and podcast today, Mr. Eric Howard, otherwise known as Mr. Seven. Welcome to the podcast, Eric, man. Good to have you in the house, brother.
Glad to have
Good to have you.
Glad to
Don't
be
hit
here.
me with that big ring.
All right.
Well, look at that ring.
It will hurt.
You got to give him a close-up. You got to give him a close-up of that. Look at that. He got the 7 ring on there. Isn't that cool? Look, he's got a couple moves there, man. Welcome to the podcast,
Thank you,
Eric.
man. Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's
first
good to
time
have
in Louisville.
It's good to have first time in Louisville.
First time in Louisville.
And how has your experience been here so far?
Louisville.
Louisville, yeah.
I'm getting better with it.
Yeah. So, what do you think of Louisville? Your first experience?
I love it. Stay downtown. You know, you recommended a great hotel, great atmosphere, and you know, I have to come back. You know, I'm only here for like 24 hours, but I had to bring my family back so we can really check out the festivities and stuff.
We can hang out, spend some time, have some fun, break some more bread.
Everywhere I went was all about bourbon. And I'm like, okay, I'm taking pictures. I'm like, what is going on in this town? Everywhere I go to is about bourbon, like whiskey, bourbon. So
bourbon and horses.
Yeah.
That's what Louisville's all about.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, man, we got people joining in today that they don't know you. Some people do. I'm sure people do because you've been around the business for a few years.
Celebrating 30 years this
what?
September.
You're not old enough.
Yeah.
You're not old
I
enough.
know I look, I'm 19, but I'm not. You know,
You're
that's
not
not
old
Noxzema.
Noxzema. That's a different commercial.
Right.
That's a different ad. Dude, you started when you were 18 years old.
Yeah, I did.
18 years old, 30 years this year in the business.
Yep, that's September.
And the insurance business has been good to you?
Most of it. I would say the first half, you know, I learned a lot. I failed a lot. And so, but that second half starting around 2008 is where it just started clicking. It took off and I never looked back. And so, you know, I'm here to help other agents across the country to learn what you need to do to stay in this business. And as you know, it's 92% of agents or so, they fail the first year and they're going out getting jobs. And it's like, no, it's in you to stay in this business.
Yeah.
You know, it's done a lot for my family, done a lot for your family. And, you know, you gotta stick and stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You were sharing something over dinner last night. You said sometimes you hear about these agents who are in and they're going to quit and go back to work, and you're like, "Can I talk to your wife?"
Yeah.
That was a passionate plea that you like. What did you mean by that? Can I talk to your wife, please?
Well, I started
Can you give me 90 days?
Yeah, I started like a spousal support type of program within my system, and that includes the spouses, whether it be the husband is the agent and the wife is not, or vice versa. And what happens is, you know, as an agent, your mindset is, I'm hearing from the greats out there what to do, how to do it, and you know that you're going to go through ups and downs, but they fail to really get the spouses involved. And I don't mean involved as in getting a license, right? But just getting involved to really truly understand. And so I do a lot of mentoring and coaching even with the spouses. And so it breaks my heart when I hear agents talking about, it's not working for me, and I'm gonna have to get a job, and my wife is on me. I'm gonna have to go start doing some new interviews and things like that. And I'm like, whoa, just give me 90 days, give me 30 days. Like, how much time do we have? Don't start that job. Tell me you're going on vacation or something. You can't start for another 30, 45 days or something. Give me a little time. Let me plug you into the system. And because what we found in this system is people are getting results within days, right? It doesn't take 6 months to prime the pump and start getting results. It happens within it's almost like overnight success.
Yeah.
And as long as they're willing to plug into it, they take the scripts and they start reading and they call the clients back up and they start getting what we call BECs, and they start getting that, and it turns into like just massive amount of
opportunities.
Opportunity, and they're closing like 50% of these referrals, and lo and behold, within a week they're going, I don't want to go get a job now.
That's right.
Like, I'm here, thank you. Like this is it, and
That's right.
the spouses are happy, and the spouses are loving the fact that we include them into what we're doing because they never had that before.
Yeah. Well, man, when you were sharing that with me last night, I'm like, man, that's a guy who believes in this business.
Yeah.
I believe in the business like that. I always tell people, man, I believe I'm in the best kept secret in America. And there's not enough of us preaching it loud and proud to say, you can change your life in this business. It has changed my life. You said it's changed my life. Yeah. You've met my daughter. My daughter's in studio today.
That's right.
Doing an internship here this summer.
He created this.
Yeah. And this is a business that can change your life. And it has done that for you. Yes. You started 30 years ago, right? You went to college but didn't finish. Let's go and take like 2 or 3 minutes to give your journey because people need to hear about the struggle. They just don't need to know about the 7 steps guy,
right,
the $1 million guy. They need to know about what happened in those first years because that's where a lot of them are right now, and that's where they're feeling that, right? So I want you to take them through those first few years. What did that look like for you?
The key word is called pain, right? You have to pain your way through it, and so I went into A&T State University as a business management major. I wanted to learn how to run my own business. I grew up. My father was a building contractor, so I saw him grind and do his thing, and I knew that I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be my own. I want to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. So I went to school for business management to learn those things. And lo and behold, the first year they were teaching me I had to take these English classes. I was writing books, writing stuff about Moby Dick and stuff that didn't make any sense, and I'm going, okay, this is not what I want to learn. They're teaching me how to go get a job. They're teaching me about resumes and stuff, and I'm like, that's not what I'm here for. And I had a clear picture of what I wanted on a vacation where this older guy, he was probably in his late 60s, maybe 70s. And he told me, he said, stick with it, young man, whatever you do in life, I'm retired now. I get to travel all over the world, me and my wife, and enjoy life. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. That's what I want. But when I watched him get up off his chair, he could barely move. And I said, I don't want to be enjoying life at that capacity. I want to do it when I'm in my 40s. I want to travel the world in my 30s and 40s. And the only way I'll make that happen is if I'm an entrepreneur, if I'm a business owner, if I can become a millionaire before 40. And that's when I started setting that goal of, I want to become a millionaire before 40 years old. And I realized through the college way that wasn't going to happen because they would teach me how to go get a job.
That's right.
And I'm like, that's not what I want to do. So I started connecting with the right people. It just happened to be in the insurance industry. I didn't know what the vehicle was going to be, but the insurance industry was
So you got in the business while you were in college?
Yeah.
And then decided college is not for me.
Right. Because it was like, I'm watching these guys make money, and they're teaching me about residual income. They teach me about, how you can be vested and stuff. And I'm like, what does that mean? And I started learning. And so, but again, it was a roller coaster ride. I did it for probably 9 or 10 months. I got out. I started selling cars. I started selling water treatment systems, Craftmatic adjustable beds, you name it. I did it all. And but what brought me back into the insurance industry was that one word called residual. And because I started thinking, I've been gone from the industry for a year and some change. If I had stayed with it, I could have monthly checks coming in right now.
That's right.
And I would probably still be selling cars if they told me, Eric, if you can get your clients to finance through our dealership, you get $5 every time they make a car payment. I'd probably still be doing that. But they wasn't. So I got back into the insurance industry and stayed with it ever since. But, it was tough. It took me, I'm not the smartest in the world. It took me 4 times to pass the state exam. So I dropped out of college, only have a high school diploma, made some money. I think the most I made before the 7 steps was probably $45,000, $50,000 at most on a good year. But average out for the most part was about $25,000 to $28,000 a year. 2007 or 8.
You were surviving.
Yeah, barely.
You weren't thriving.
Barely.
Yeah.
Like I know what it's like to when you're following someone. You don't want to see all the success. You want to know that they know how to get knocked down. They got knocked down. I got knocked down 4 or 5 times, but I got up 5 or 6 times, right? I kept getting up and kept going after it. I know what it's like to walk outside and your car's gone. And
That's not a good feeling.
No, it's not. I mean, repoed, gone. Repoed. You know what I mean? Mitsubishi Galant. I never forget it.
Mitsubishi Galant.
Yeah, I drove it. And so it walked outside, and I was ironing my clothes, and I said, I need to go outside and crank my car up and get it warmed up, and there was no car. It was gone. I literally walked outside. My driveway at the time was on a hill, and when I opened the door and didn't see the car, I thought maybe the brakes gave out or something, right? And I walked out and looked down the hill, and there was no car in the bushes. I was like, oh my God, man, they came and got it,
How far behind were you? Do you know?
I don't know. 4 or 5 months, maybe.
Oh,
maybe
geez.
longer. I don't know. Because money was rolling in every now and then at that time. Again, and maybe I was playing around the business, wasn't taking it seriously, but I didn't have the right mentor, the right guidance to coach me through things. But
so you got off to a rocky start, to say the least.
Most definitely.
What happened? You said something happened in 2008.
Well, I put it like this: like everybody else, I prayed that God would show me the right way, that God would allow me to be successful so I can give back. I'm a giver. I love to give back. I love to help people and with everything. And I just kept praying, Lord, if you help me and bless me with the finances, imagine how much I can give back. Imagine how much I can help at that point. And then, God has a sense of humor. It was like, yeah, Eric, I got you. But right now, I got to take you through something because you got to experience the ups and downs in life and in the business. I got to allow you to have your lights get cut off. I got to allow the repossession to happen. I allow these things to happen.
A lot of people don't want to go through that.
They don't. And they don't have to, right? And so
they don't ever grow sometimes, though.
What was revealed to me was I went through those things so other people don't have to. So to make it easier, he showed me a system. As I was in 2008, I went through the same foreclosure process that a lot of people went through. I was in that mortgage crisis, and I was with a company. They didn't know how to pay me. I was producing big numbers, 20,000 AP a month or so back in 2008, and a little $12 policy, right? And I found myself facing foreclosure, didn't know what I was going to do. I switched gears, got into final expense, and it's like, I got to find something. Again, prayed about it. Lord, order my steps. Show me what I need to do. Put me in the right position. Put me in front of the right people. I never sat down and go, I'm going to come up with a system and with piece of paper and writing it down. I just went to work. I got me some leads, and I went out there, and it was like this wisdom click that God gave me. Just like, do this next. Do this next. Now that I wrote the policy, what can I do with this policy holder right now that can generate more for me?
Yeah.
And of course, it was a referral program, but everybody's saying, who else do you know? Who do you know that I can help? It doesn't work. Because when you call them, hey, I just helped Miss such and such, and she said you might be ClickUp, right?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I got what I need, and that's the end of the story.
That's right.
So you got to get 20 referrals just to write 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that method. And so it was like he was showing me a different method of doing it. And
now, I'll pause.
Yeah.
Was this was face-to-face?
Yes.
You were working leads?
Yes.
So people requested information.
Correct.
Some type of lead.
Correct.
And were you calling them pre-setting appointments, or were you just showing up and knocking their doors?
I did a little bit of both.
Okay.
I
want to give context to the people watching and listening.
I did
about
both.
What your process looked like at that time.
Gotcha. I did both because I did love the feeling of knowing that someone's waiting on me, right? But if they didn't answer the phone, I'm out there the very same day, and I'm knocking on their door. I'm gonna catch up with them because you can sit there with a client in their home and see the name of someone or a phone number pop up on their TV screen. That's when that came out, and they don't answer. And it's like, oh, so I was one of those. You didn't even answer. You ignored me, Miss Betty. That's what
right.
you do? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So I go knock on the door. And I'm a jokester. So, a lot of times I told some type of little joke, make them laugh a little bit. And they say, no, I'm in the house, And I'm writing the policy. But then I started working on this special referral that, guys, this referral system I call the BECs. They do not say no to the appointment. And so when I would call them up, they said they were glad to have me come to their house. They fed me. I mean, I gained weight. Like I was, woo. I was swole, all right? Everybody fed me.
Some people call swole different than that.
No. Well, this was a fat swole. This was a fat
This
swole.
was a fat swole.
This was a fat swole. This was Swiss cake rolls.
Swiss
swole.
cake rolls, fat swole. We got to do some of that, Adam.
Yeah. But, it was...
Now, this was this part of your system, because I know you're called Mr. 7 for the 7 steps, and we're going to be talking about that. But this part right here is just one of your 7-step
just one of them
program.
And I know you're going to twist my arm and make me tell it, right?
It's gold, right?
Yeah,
it's gold, because we were talking.
Really
we were talking prior to getting in the studio. We spoke last night, and I'm like, man, agents are going to resonate with this.
Yeah,
if you're watching today and you're struggling with the investment of leads, turning a profit on those leads, reinvesting in leads, and working a system consistently, and you're wondering how to make it, or maybe you're in a situation where you have some financial challenges and you don't have that upfront money to go big into a regular recurring lead order or an investment into marketing. What Eric was sharing with us last night, I'm like, man, this is such a unique little tweak on something that has been used for generations, ever since sales was invented. But you've got such a unique twist on this and an approach to this. I think it can revolutionize things for agents, and I'm excited for you to share it. So we're gonna give them one part of your system today. Is that what we're doing?
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. You twisted my arm enough, so man. I got to give it out.
Okay, because I think it's so valuable, man.
So this is what took me. Of course, the whole 7 steps really, went everywhere with it. But going from 28,000 to 105 the first year working the system, never made 6 figures in my entire life. Again. College dropout. I'm like, is this really happening? Right. And I was facing foreclosure. Within 2.5 months, I saved that mortgage. I mean, like, I can still smell the stench of the basement of the courthouse. Seeing my name plastered on, it's totally different. When I walked in your office and saw my name and picture up there, compared to at the courthouse seeing my name and the date of the foreclosure date. Like, that's not fun. Like, it really isn't. And again, my heart goes out to agents out there that's facing that, that's close to facing that, and you don't have to, and a lot of times agents, you're just in your own way.
Yeah.
And you make things more difficult than it is.
Yeah.
And it's simplicity behind this. So the first year of working this system, I made 105. Okay. Second year, I made 161. And in that second year, I started really focusing on, okay, who else can I teach this to? And so for over 15 years, the 7 steps has been exclusive only to my agency, right? Everyone that I hired. And I had agents from across the country wanting to know what the system was, and I'm not telling. You have to be an agent in our organization. We've since changed that model. We're no longer in the recruiting model and hiring. We don't do that anymore. Now it's allowing agents globally to see what the system is. So now we're launching this, July 21st. We're launching the 7 steps. So now everyone globally can see what this is. But one of the key factors in the system that people love so much is the BEC method. And there's a couple of reasons why this really works. So number one, it's a way of eliminating chargebacks, because no one likes chargebacks. Did you like chargebacks?
No, not at all.
Right. No one likes chargebacks.
Not at all.
Right. And so...
Well, you said something else to me too.
What's that?
Earlier, because we were talking. You said I can teach people how to write 80 applications from 20 leads.
Oh, most definitely.
And with confidence, you say that.
Yeah.
And most people are. Would change their life.
They write 6 to 8 of them off of 20 leads.
That would change their life if they learned to write 80 applications from 20 leads.
Yeah.
And you attribute it to this one step of your 7-step process called the BEC method.
Yeah. We track this success with so many agents. We steady get testimonies daily coming in about how it's working, and especially this one method right here. But all 7 steps is created to get you that 80 apps out of just 20 leads. But one of the systems, the BEC method, again, every time you write a policy, okay, you're going to get a guaranteed 4 names and phone numbers, these referrals. We call them the BECs, okay? They're the closest loved ones to the policyholder, okay? And no one does this. Okay. And so what happens is when you call these clients, now we took it a step further. If you're face to face with a client, you're in the field, a field agent, then the best thing to do is once you get these 4 names and phone numbers, through our script, you have the client call these 4 people for you right then and there at the table, introduce you to them, you take the phone, and then you're going to schedule the appointment. And no one says no. So there are some guarantees written within this system. I believe in guarantees. And in the business that we're in, you need guarantees, number one, but you need activity. So this system right here generates massive amount of activity so you can get in front of more people. So imagine if I help you write 10 apps in a week, which a lot of people are not even doing.
Yeah.
But if I help you write 10 apps in a week and you're supposed to get 4 names and phone numbers per deal, how many appointments you got next week? Guaranteed 40. So you didn't have to go out and buy another 40 leads. You created 40 leads for free. So now when you contact these 40 and they're waiting on you, now watch this. I'm gonna blow your mind on this one. So before I got into Final Expense, I trained a guy with another company, and we had what's called it was like a blitz. And it's where they pull together so many agents, the top producers in the state, and we would go into one location. We would be in a hotel from Sunday to like that Saturday or Sunday. And you had a whole bunch of leads, and everybody, we would have a big powwow, boot camp in the morning, and then everybody would go out in the field all day long. So it was July weather, hot.
Blitz week.
And you want to be the best of the best. And we would go out, we would knock on doors, we would do it all, run leads, you name it. So this is what I trained this agent. I said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and we're going to work our butts off from sun up to sundown, Monday and Tuesday. And the rest of the week, Wednesday through Saturday, we're going to be in the lobby of the hotel, in the air condition, and we're going to have people come to us and we were going to write them. He said, no way. I said, watch. And so we went out for 2 days. We wrote about, 6 or 7 people or whatnot. So we ended up having about 28 to 30 of these BECs. We called them up that last night, and we scheduled every one of them to keep coming in, right? And we spent about an hour with each person. They're coming to you now. They're coming to the hotel.
That's a powerful script.
Yeah. They come to the hotel, and we wrote every agent that was going out in the field. Every night they're coming back to the hotel sweating. It was hot.
And you're in there with clients,
and they're like, wait a minute, whoa. What did y'all doing? So it was so easy. And he was just mind blown of this, you know? And we, of course we was top producer for the week, and he was just, blown away. So, but getting back to the BEC method, you have the guarantee. No one says no to the appointment. They can't say no. And I've went through role-playing sessions with
unless
people.
they're going to be out of town or something like that.
But they don't say, no, I'm not interested.
Correct.
No, I don't want to meet with you. No one says that when you use the right script.
Yeah, because you're not actually pitching them to sell them.
No.
That's not the purpose of the appointment.
That's the whole point. It's about going over what the mother took out.
Correct.
It's about going over what the father took out, what the sister took out, and how to reach
grandma.
you.
Yeah.
So let me give you that part right there. The BEC is Beneficiary Emergency Contacts. So what I started doing, and I did this because in 2002, my grandmother passed away. And the vision that I still have today is when I walked in the back door, the mattress was leaning against the wall, shoes was being pulled out the closet. And my question to my mother and my aunt was, what are you guys doing? It looks like a chaotic mess in here. And my mom said, well, your grandmother had a policy here somewhere. And we grew up on family land, right? My grandmother's house was here, my aunt's house was here, our house was here, and then the other aunt and so on. And so I said, well, why in the world didn't the agent reach out to you guys and say, here's my card. If anything happens to her, this is how you reach me.
Correct, yeah.
And the moment I said that out loud, it hit me, well, dummy, you're not doing it. So the very next week after the funeral, everybody I wrote a policy on, I got their primary beneficiary, the contingent beneficiary, and 2 emergency contacts for the file. And I said, they have no idea that I exist. Agents, listen to me. When you write a policy, the client's family have no idea that you exist. They need to know, okay? And the quicker you get in contact with the BECs, the longer your policy will stay on the books. That's how you eliminate chargebacks, because someone's going to come behind you. That daughter's going to come behind you, and their mother's 75, their dad is 75. They are taking care of their mother or father, and they have no idea that you exist. So now they walk in the door and they see Roger's name on a card or something. They say, well, who is Roger? Well, I took out a policy with him. You mean to tell me this stranger came over here or, talked to you over the phone and you gave him your social, you gave him your banking information? Mom, you need to cancel that.
Yeah.
It happens over and over.
It does.
And most method that agents think about is just go write some more business, right? But if you want to get your residual check up to $60,000 a month residually in this business, the business that stays is the business that pays. You have to keep it on the books. And so I found this way to be that powerful way that when I sat down with these daughters and sat down with the sons, within 24 to 48 hours, they were so happy that I included them in what their mother or father just did, or their sister or brother.
Yeah.
And then they said, can I get something like that too? I'm loving this. Sure. So I didn't go in with dollar signs in my eyes thinking I'm going to go write a policy. I went out and wrote 4 policies in a row. Guaranteed appointments, easy lay down appointments, got fed. They fed me, right? And on my way home after that 4th appointment, I said, the light came on. I got something. This is a system. And I kept doing it. So then I started writing 10 apps a week, getting 40 BECs the next week and closing 50% of those, right? So when you do the math of this, you're going to end up, writing over 80 apps off of 20 leads just in that method alone.
Without having the regular big reoccurring investment into just the simple process of close next, close next, close next.
I role play with agents. I role played the scripts. I even get on the phone with some agents and talk to some of the policy holders. So one mentee just recently, I'm going to say this real quick. One mentee just recently said, I'm tapped out. I'm thinking about getting a job and my credit cards are maxed out. I bought a bunch of leads, off and on and made some sales and I said, well, let me ask you a question. You can't buy any more leads right now. I understand that. How many policyholders do you actually have right now that you have access to call and pick up the phone and say, hey, Miss Betty, how you doing? And he said, probably about 40. I said, you have 40 of them? He said, yeah. I said, I can guarantee you 160 appointments coming up. He said, what? I said, I can guarantee you 160 appointments. He said, we're going to call every client that you have, and we're going to pull the 4 BECs out. He said, what's the 4 BECs? What's the BECs? I said, I'm going to tell you. So, and we're going to call them, and sure enough, within probably 5 or 6 days, he had 160 appointments coming up. And this guy started out and calling them, and he was texting me like, Eric, shut up. This is not real. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, this is unbelievable. Like, I just wrote my first one. Easy. Lay down appointment. They did not, you're right. They didn't say no on the appointment. They didn't say this. And so, I feed off of other people's passion. I feed off of the fact that he was close to getting a job and now he's earning over $2,000 a week now just off of BECs. Now he has the money to go back and buy leads if he wants to, but he decided not to at this point because he's on this roller coaster. He's rolling right now. He's like, I don't want to buy any leads. I love where I'm at right here. Yeah. And now he's, one lady told him, I didn't know my mom took this policy out. Yeah. Had I known, because I didn't think she needed anything else, but now I see that she needs this.
That's right.
Yeah.
You had said something else that was was very remarkable. You said you increase persistency. Now, well, let me back up. You took your agent from, you were mostly running solo. You started teaching your 7 steps, which that's just one piece of the 7 steps.
Correct.
You started teaching this. And you were doing these Super Saturdays, something like that, you said?
Every 90 days.
Every 90 days you would do a Super Saturday, bring in potential new agents to talk to your existing agents. You'd recognize your existing agents, your top producers. They'd be getting belts and plaques and rings and
trips,
all kinds of incentives. And you were working this program, but you also, not only were you scaling your agency through a simplified system, but you actually increased persistency from 70% to over 90% in your agency.
Yep.
That's a remarkable number. Industry average is down in that 68 to 80% at a high.
Right.
It generally doesn't get above 80 nationally. I'm talking about industry average. Some organizations are lower than that. That obviously bring that down. But that's a high number of persistency, and you attribute it to tying in the family members properly with the correct scripting, correct phone calls, and the correct presentation with those people.
Exactly right.
So that it's a different type of appointment, but it allows you to tie the whole family together.
That's exactly right.
And you believe that if the family's in, now you're the agent for the family, and they're not going to cancel anything unless they call Eric and no agents coming behind them to replace your stuff because you're the family. You're the life guy.
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah. That's awesome, man. I want to give a little more context. You grew, you had about 7 to 8 teams. You had told me you had built 7 to 8 sizable teams. And you got up to doing about $7 million in premium?
$7 million a year.
$7 million in premium?
And pretty much in one state, and we had a little bit of half of a different state as well. So $50 app a piece.
And you went from 28.5 to 105.
Yep.
Can you give me the progression once you started teaching the system where you went? Would you be willing to share that with everybody?
Sure. So the
like
first
this
year,
is inside stuff now, so I don't know if he shares this, but I'm going to get him to share.
This was shared over some steaks last night, so steaks and some shrimp. But yeah, so the first year was 105,000. The second year was 161, and then the third year was 328, and then the fourth year was 423, and then 538. I skipped 600 and went straight to 714, and then I skipped. I went from 714 to 892, and then in my 8th year is when I hit 1,063,000. And then the next year, 1.1 and kept going.
1,063,000. What was it like at the end of that year, knowing that you actually deposited for you, not your agency?
Right.
I mean, it's your agency, but it's your revenue. It's not your agent's commissions because they got paid their own commissions. But money coming into your agency account.
It was
for $1 million. What was that conversation like with your wife?
We did it. The 7 Steps did it. And it's just like it's amazing that so many people adopted the system and I owe all that to, if those that really truly adopted the system, they plugged into it, they focused on the scripts, the role plan that we did, and they saw that change. And, for years we did a tracking system of tracking. We wanted to track 100 agents to double their income in their first year. And we did that. And we didn't stop until it was like 125 agents that we doubled. And, I didn't care if they came
doubling
from
their income.
Doubling their income. Some triple their income. It didn't matter if they came from the police force, if they was a teacher first, or if they was in the insurance industry struggling. It was, what did you make last year in income? And we took that down. We gave them the simple process of how to double that in their first year. The problem with a lot of people, they say, I want to make 6 figures. I want to make $100,000, but they don't know how much that comes to per week.
That's right. And
so we started breaking down what that looks like. When agencies give out a trip and say, well, you got to produce, $10,000 a month in production, okay, in order to make the company trip. So you need $60,000 in the course of 6 months. Agents focus on the number 60,000 in AP versus it's only $209 a week in premium.
Yeah.
So when you take $10,000 in AP for the month,
$209 a week in monthly premium. Premium.
Right.
Monthly
Roger,
premium.
you got to remember, I only have a high school diploma, so I don't get too technical.
Yeah.
So I simplify things because 60,000 over 6 months.
You're smarter than you let on, Mr.
Well,
Howard.
hey, but 60,000 of course of 6 months is a big number to keep focusing on.
Correct.
And most agents will check out. I can't do that. But then when I sat down with them and I say, look, let me mentor you on something. Let me give you something real quick. And I'm going to tell you this right now. So if you're trying to go for $10,000 in AP for the month, stop focusing on annualized premium. Stop focusing on $10,000. Focus on, take that $10,000 in annual premium, divide it by 12. That means you sent the company $833.33 in collected premium for the month. Right? Average app being $50, $60, $25, whatever you collected, right? $833. Now, if you divide that by 4, because it's 4 weeks in a month, that comes to $209 a week in premiums, $208 and some change, but $209. So the goal is, and we have a tracking sheet, we call it the decline and balance sheet. And I teach agents how to put that magical number. So if you're going for $400 a week in premium, put that at the top of the sheet and subtract every app that you write from that number, and watch by Wednesday or Thursday you've hit that number. And then you look back and you go, I just made over $2,000 this week. Well, now you're on track to make $100,000 in income for the first time ever.
That's right.
It's simple little things like that people don't get.
Eric, you've got this system broken down. You call it the 7 steps. You're launching a full online training platform. It's going to be available. You're launching it this month.
Yeah, July.
It'll be out by the end of the month.
Yep, July 21st.
And people can access that. Eric7steps.com.
That's it.
Eric7steps.com. And they can find you on Facebook at... Where do they find you on Facebook?
Eric Howard.
Eric Howard.
Yes.
And on Instagram, it's going to be Mr. 7 Steps.
Yes, sir.
Eric Howard, Mr. 7 Steps on Instagram. Eric, you're doing some cool things in the industry. I know that you've been speaking. We connected at some of our mutual events together.
Charlotte,
and
North Carolina.
And Chris connected with you, and we started talking, and you started telling me about what you're doing. We were excited about it, and we're excited that you can help agents. So I want to make this also clear. Agents don't have to join your agency to work with your program. This is not what this is.
Lord, no.
Lord, no.
No.
What does that mean?
No.
They staying where they're at.
Yes, please.
Plugging into your system, because your system is not about an upline or a product.
Correct.
It's about a process.
Correct. It's about the psychology. I teach the psychology behind the sales.
Yeah. That's what makes it so unique.
It really is. And
Yeah.
so what happens is people need to realize that the psychology behind a client is that they want to buy. They don't want to be sold.
Correct.
And what's happening is agents are going in trying to sell. They're trying to sell premium, trying to sell the coverage amount, and trying to sell life insurance. And that's completely all wrong. And so we show them the psychology behind it. And for example, just in final expense alone, there's like 4 major questions that if you ask a client, and I teach this, if you ask these 4 questions, it makes you the only logical choice. Right?
Yeah.
And so when they open up and tell their story, one of the questions, and they answer it, they're selling themselves.
Correct.
And now what you're doing is you're shifting the power to them, and now they feel like
to take ownership of it.
Right. Their ownership. They feel like they're buying now, like I'm in control. And that's perfect. You ask the question, you sit back and let them sell themselves.
Correct.
So it's no need to twist, because when you start twisting someone's arm, you're looking for a chargeback.
Adam, does that sound like our principled sales system, man? Huh? We're in alignment, brother.
Yeah.
We're in alignment. The more we talk, the more I'm like, I like Eric, because he teaches agents how to have conversations with clients that move them to a better place.
Yeah.
And that's what ethical selling is all about. There's
Keep
too
it
many people
easy.
out there taking advantage of our market. There's too many people out there in it for them.
Yeah.
Too many people out there pitching high premiums, closing deals, trying to be the number one agent on their leaderboard. And their fall off rate, their placement rate, their persistency rate is terrible.
Allow it to happen organically.
Clients get hurt.
Yeah.
And your conversations and education and training is teaching agents how to have meaningful conversations with clients so that they're engaged in the process, so they take ownership of what they bought, and then bringing their family members in to also take ownership and becoming that life agent for that family unit.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard to undo all that.
Can I get one more giveaway?
Sure.
Do you mind? I'm going to give one more giveaway.
It's all you. I just
feeling-
want a hat.
I'm feeling good
I just want a
today.
hat. I
You
just
just
want a
want a hat,
hat.
the 7 steps?
I just want a hat.
So we, my advanced market team, we put together part of the system of the 7 steps as well, because, I'm a final expense guy. And when we became our own IMO back in 2018, 2019, we opened multiple divisions. One division was the advanced market. So, term, IULs, annuities, and things like that. And so what we found down through the years is that a lot of agents they became stagnant and hovering around $100 to $500 a month premium, right? And everyone wants to go after that athlete, right, that has that kind of money. Everyone wants to go after the elite clientele. And so my guys came up with an awesome way, and we put it into the script, we put it into the platform as well, for the advanced market, how to go and connect with like estate planners, right? And we broke it down over and over again and tried this method out, and it kept working. We said, all right, now we need to put this into the system as well, because people even on the advanced market are hurting and wish they could get that type of clientele. So if you are getting $100 to $500 in premium off of a client target premium versus you really want to get $100,000, because now we have clients that are dropping $100,000, $200,000 as target premium for the first year, just like that, because they're like, oh, I need to do this. And so we teach you how to network with real estate agents, right? Loan officers, estate planners. And when you connect with them the right way, they will open their book of business to you and say, I have 400 clients here that need what you have. Let's work together.
Yeah.
And they won't ask for one penny.
And this is a part of your 7 steps also.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been a fun episode, man. Eric, I think some big things are ahead. I'm excited about the feedback, and I'm excited to watch this journey with you. I'm excited to be a part of helping you promote it because I think you're doing good things for the industry. One thing you'll find out about Chris and Zach and I and the Life Insurance Academy is we're all about educating people on how to elevate our industry, to move people to a better place, to teach people how to become professional advisors.
I love that.
Because if you take care of people, they will take care of you. And that's what a difference maker is all about.
That. So I love that.
You're making a difference out there,
I
man.
want so many people to see all your podcasts because I watched a lot of them and I'm like, wow, these guys are just, what you guys are doing, Cody Askins, that's why I wanted to partner with you guys because I'm like, these guys are truly making a difference, and we've been around a long time. How many years you been in?
I started in the insurance business in 2011. I got my license. I started my first agency in 2014.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. I mean, you've learned so much and now you're giving back. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Each testimony that comes back in, it's like, yeah, we did that. Like we helped that person because you're not only helping that agent, you're helping their family.
That's right.
And that's the most important thing because someone is counting on that dad to get it right. Someone is counting on that mother to get it right. And everything that we're doing is helping with that.
Yeah.
But I also, let me just say this before we wrap things up, but in my mentoring program, not only am I coaching within the 7 steps itself, there's things that I do outside the 7 steps that is very important. We invest our money different places. Once you start making money, you learn where to go, right? But that's not being taught to the agents. And a lot of times what I've seen down through the years, and I did this exclusively in my agency with my agents, but now I'm doing it globally, is, are you set up the right way to win as an agent? The first 5 years working the system, within that 5th year, I was making $500,000. But it was just me. And I paid a lot of money back in taxes. No one was mentoring me and say, whoa, stop. Like, you need to become a business. And this is how you need to set it up. So it wasn't until my wife said, we're paying way too much in taxes. Like, we got to fix this. And then she got it fixed, right? Yeah. And then the first, at $500,000, I bought my first dream car at the time, which was a convertible, okay? And I never showed you this. But I'm gonna pull it up right now, and I'm gonna show it to you, and you can let everybody know what it shows here. But I bought my first convertible BMW, and what is this? That's my convertible that I bought.
7 steps.
The license plate says what?
7 steps.
7 steps. 7 steps did it, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? No one was mentoring me, and no one said, Eric, you're making $500,000 a year for the first time ever, but your credit is 530. Don't go buy that car yet. Hold on. Yeah. My mindset was, I don't care. I'm making what? Yeah. And I went out there and bought that car. I was paying probably $1,100 a month for that car. And had someone said, get your credit scores up to 750 or 800. Now your car payment could be $500-$600 or something. You take that difference of $500-$600 that you're not paying and put it into an IUL and let that thing grow, and you're going to be super wealthy. No one was teaching me that. That's what I'm teaching agents. Pause for a second. You're on track to make $100,000. Become a business now. A lot of people are thinking, I need to be making $1 million before I become a business. No, you are a business. But you need to position yourself for leverage reasons. Yeah. And so through the mentoring program, I'm connecting them with the resources that I have that can work their credit, get their credit scores up within 60 to 90 days to where it needs to be, so that if they need to refi their home, if they need to go buy that car, whatever it is, they have that leverage. Right?
Can you tell this guy likes to teach and mentor and coach? I think so. I think we got a coach in here. I think we got a coach. If I let him go at him, he's going to go for another 20 or 30 minutes. So we're going to wrap.
An hour. Let's go.
We're going to wrap. Eric, man, what a pleasure it's been to have you on the show, on the podcast. I think it's going to resonate. Guys, go find him on Instagram, Mr. 7 Steps. Eric Howard on Facebook, Eric7, the number 7. Yep. Okay, not spell it out, the number 7, eric7steps.com, and you'll be able to find out all of his resources. I'm sure he's got some goodies on there.
Yes, sir.
And it'll allow you to connect with him. And look around the industry, follow us, and you'll probably see us speaking somewhere together real soon. So, man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being on.
I appreciate you.
We appreciate you, and we appreciate you guys for watching this exclusive and exciting episode today. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast.